5 days before Christmas, my fiancé asked me to pause our engagement so he could figure things out. What he didn't know was that I'd already ended the relationship in my head that morning when I found the messages. My name is Brooke Sullivan. I'm 32 years old. I work in corporate communications for a tech company downtown. I live in a studio apartment that smells like vanilla candles and coffee grounds. I pay my bills on time, answer emails within an hour, and keep backup plans for my backup plans. People call me reliable, steady. For 3 years, I thought my relationship was part of that reliability, something solid. His name was Jordan Kellerman. We met at a rooftop networking event in June 3 years ago. He worked in brand consulting and had this way of making everyone feel like the most interesting person in the room. He found me near the railing, nursing a vodka soda and pretending to check work emails. Escaping or strategizing, he asked. Both. He laughed. Same. Want to escape together? We talked for 2 hours about terrible corporate jargon, about dive bars, about how neither of us belonged at events like this but kept showing up anyway. The next morning, I had a text from him. Coffee this week? I promise not to say synergize even once. A year later, we moved in together. 2 years in, he proposed on a ferry ride across the harbor at sunset. I cried. He told me he'd never been more sure of anything. We set the wedding for next June. Invitations were ordered, the venue was booked. My calendar became a chaotic mix of client presentations and cake tastings, conference calls, and dress alterations. It wasn't perfect, but it felt real. Then, 2 months ago, things started shifting. Jordan's phone went from sitting face up on the counter to always being flipped over. When it buzzed, he'd glance quickly and slide it into his pocket. "Who was that?" I asked once. "Just work," he said, already scrolling through something else. He started working late more often. Client dinners past midnight, strategy sessions at bars I'd never heard of. "Don't wait up," he'd text. "This meeting's running long." He'd come home smelling like expensive perfume and whiskey, kiss my forehead without really looking at me, and collapse on the couch. "Everything okay?" I asked one night while stringing lights on our Christmas tree. "Yeah, just slammed," he said, eyes on his phone. I'm not the jealous type. I don't go through people's things. I trust until I have a reason not to. But I started noticing patterns, dates that didn't line up, stories with gaps. He said he was meeting his friend Owen for drinks on a Wednesday. Owen posted an Instagram story from a completely different bar across town. He mentioned a conference in Boston that didn't show up anywhere on his company's website. I told myself it was explainable. People make mistakes. I was overthinking. I gaslit myself because the alternative was terrifying. December 22nd, 3 days before Christmas. Jordan left for work early, rushing, half-dressed, toast in one hand, laptop bag in the other. "I'm going to miss the train," he mumbled, kissing my cheek. "Love you. Text you later." "Love you too," I said automatically. The door slammed. The apartment went quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator and the soft twinkling of our Christmas tree lights. I rinsed my coffee mug, wiped down the counter, and that's when I saw it. Jordan's iPad, sitting on the dining table next to a stack of Christmas cards I still needed to mail. He never left that thing behind. I picked it up, planning to set it on his desk. The screen lit up. No password, just a notification banner sliding down from the top. It was a message from a contact saved as Kira M. At a glance, it read, "Last night was exactly what I needed. You make me feel seen in ways she never could." My stomach dropped. All I could hear was my heartbeat pounding in my ears, louder than the traffic, louder than the refrigerator, louder than the Christmas music from a neighbor's apartment. I could have put it down, could have told myself it was a coworker oversharing. Instead, I tapped the notification. The Messages app opened. A thread with Kira M at the top. A contact photo of a woman in her early 30s with long dark hair and an effortless smile. I scrolled up. 3 months of messages. 3 months of, hey, you made it home okay? And thinking about you. And you deserve to feel understood. 3 months of emotional confiding that crossed every line I recognized. Then it got worse. I think I'm falling for you. When I'm with you, I feel alive in a way I haven't in years. I don't know how much longer I can keep pretending everything's fine with Brooke. He used my name, casually, like I was a problem to be solved. I kept scrolling, past references to coffee dates and late-night drinks, past that hotel bar and the Uber back to your place, past nights he'd told me he was at client dinners or with Owen. And then, last night's message. You looked so beautiful tonight. Last night was exactly what I needed. You make me feel seen in ways she never could. I need to figure out my situation. It's not fair to either of us like this. I sat at the dining table with his iPad and my cooling coffee. The Christmas tree blinked in the corner. Time got strange. Minutes stretched into hours, or maybe only seconds. The world around me kept moving. A car door slammed outside, someone's dog barked. But my life had just split into before and after, and the world didn't even notice. I grabbed my phone, started taking screenshots. Every message, every date, every line where he told her he felt alive, seen, understood. Screenshot, scroll. Screenshot, scroll. I didn't cry, not then. I felt hollow, focused. I was still sitting there when the front door opened again. "Brooke?" Jordan's voice called out. I left my notes. Oh, there they are. I snapped the iPad case shut so fast my fingers stung. He walked into the kitchen, hair mussed from the wind, smiling like the man I'd agreed to marry. He was wearing the scarf I'd bought him last Christmas. "Hey," he said. "You okay? You look pale." "I'm fine," I said. My voice sounded flat. "Just tired." He leaned over and kissed the top of my head. "Big presentation today?" "Something like that." He grabbed papers from the counter, stuffed them into his bag, and was gone again. The door clicked shut. I opened the iPad again. By noon, I'd transferred every screenshot to secure cloud storage. I created a spreadsheet matching his supposed whereabouts to the messages. Every drinks with Owen that was actually dinner with Kira. Every client event that lined up with flirty texts and hotel bars. I called my older sister, Haley. "What's up?" she answered. "Don't you usually drown in meetings on Thursdays?" "I found out Jordan's been cheating," I said. No preamble. She was silent for 3 full seconds. "Tell me everything," she said finally. Her voice had that clipped, dangerous calm I'd only heard once before when someone rear-ended her car and tried to drive off. I did. The iPad, the messages, the timelines. When I finished, she said, "You're not staying in that apartment tonight." "I know," I said. "End it today," she said, "before he gets a chance to spin this." "I'm going to, but not the way he expects." By 2 o'clock, I had called our wedding venue. The coordinator's voice softened when I asked about their cancellation policy. "We're far enough out that we can refund most of the deposit," she said gently. It hurt, but it was a clean hurt, a controllable one. By 3, I'd called the caterer. They kept half the deposit, but I didn't fight it. I called my parents and asked if they could come by that evening. "Is everything okay?" my mom asked. "I just need to talk to you and Dad," I said. "Can you come around 7?" She hesitated. "We'll be there." I did the same with Jordan's parents. Didn't give details, just, "It's important, please. I know it's close to Christmas, but this can't wait." By 4, I'd packed a duffel bag with clothes, documents, my laptop, and left it at Haley's place. I logged into our shared accounts and started removing my name. I updated passwords on everything that was mine alone. By the time the sun started slipping behind the buildings and the Christmas lights on our street began to glow, my life looked the same from the outside. Ring on my finger, wrapped presents under the tree. But inside, I'd already walked away. Jordan came home a little after 6. His keys clinked into the bowl by the door. He was carrying a shopping bag from the mall. Hey, he called. His voice sounded strained. Can we talk? I was sitting on the couch, hands loosely folded in my lap. The iPad was nowhere in sight. My phone, with its folder of evidence, sat screen down beside me. Sure, I said. What's up? He didn't sit next to me. He took the armchair across from me like we were in a therapist's office. His knee bounced. He forced it still. I've been doing a lot of thinking, he started. My stomach clenched. Okay, I said. I love you, Brooke. You know that. He waited like he wanted me to nod. I didn't. But lately, I've been feeling uncertain, like maybe we rushed into the engagement, like maybe I need to be sure before we go through with the wedding. There it was, the speech he'd probably practiced on the train. What are you saying? I asked. My voice was calm. I want to pause the engagement, he said. Not break up, just take a step back. Give me some time to think clearly without the pressure of wedding planning. A few weeks, maybe through the holidays. I just need space to figure out what I really want. I watched him carefully. He looked nervous, but there was relief there too, like he'd finally set down something heavy. Space to figure out what you want, I repeated slowly. Exactly. He smiled a little, hopeful. I knew you'd understand. I let the silence stretch just long enough for him to relax. Jordan, I said softly, do you need space to figure out what you want, or space to figure out if you want to be with Kira? His face went completely white. His mouth opened, closed, opened again. What? Who? He stammered. Kira M., the woman you've been texting for 3 months, the one you met at that strategy summit, the one who told you last night that you make her feel seen in ways I never could. Ring a bell? His eyes darted around the room, to the coffee table, to my phone, to the kitchen. I watched the moment he realized he'd lost control of the conversation. I don't know what you're talking about. This is crazy, Brooke. Is it? Because this morning you forgot your iPad on the table. His whole body flinched. And when it lit up, there was a message from Kira. I opened it. I read everything. 3 months' worth.
You went through my private messages, he snapped, latching onto the first branch he could find. His voice got louder. That's a massive violation of trust. I almost laughed. It came out as a breath instead. You left your device unlocked on the dining table, I said. The notification was right there. But sure, let's pretend this is about my ethics, and not the fact that you've been sneaking around behind my back while we plan a wedding. He stood up, started pacing between the couch and the window, running a hand through his hair. You had no right, he said. That was a private conversation. Private conversations don't usually include, I think I'm falling for you, and I feel alive when I'm with you, not her, I said quietly. He froze. The room went very still. It's not what you think, he said finally, turning back toward me. His voice had gone softer, pleading. Kira and I, we just connected. We talked, that's it. It wasn't an affair. Really? I raised an eyebrow. Because from where I'm sitting, it looks a lot like an emotional affair. Coffee led to dinner. Dinner led to late-night drinks. You told her things you didn't tell me. You told her you were questioning what we have. You lied to me about where you were multiple times. What would you call that? He swallowed hard. I was confused. I've been under a lot of stress. We've been so focused on the wedding. You've been so busy with work. And then Kira showed up and she just listened. She understood. You were confused, I repeated. So confused that you could plan secret meetups, type out long messages about how alive you feel with her, and keep your phone angled away from me for months. That's not confusion, Jordan. That's a series of choices. He sat on the edge of the armchair, shoulders sagging. "I didn't mean for it to go that far," he said. "But you let it, over and over again." He ran his hands over his face. "Look, that's why I wanted to pause the engagement. I need to figure out how I really feel. I don't want to hurt you." "You already did," I said. The doorbell rang. He flinched like someone had fired a gun. "I'm begging you," Jordan said in a harsh whisper. "Don't do this. Don't drag everyone into our business, not 3 days before Christmas." I stood up. My legs felt strangely steady. "You dragged them in when you asked me to spend the rest of my life with you and then started auditioning replacements." I walked to the door and opened it. My parents stood there, coats dusted with fresh snow, worry already in my mother's eyes. She was holding a tin of Christmas cookies. Behind them were Jordan's parents, his mother clutching her purse strap and a wrapped gift, his father frowning like he'd been pulled away from something important. "Hey," my mom said. "What's going on? You sounded serious." "Come in," I said. My voice sounded calm, detached. "Thanks for coming. I know Christmas is in 3 days." They filed into the living room, exchanging confused looks when they saw Jordan standing stiffly by the armchair, hands jammed into his pockets. The Christmas tree blinked innocently in the corner. "Is everything okay?" Jordan's mom asked, setting the gift down. "You two look upset." "Please sit down," I said. My dad sat on the love seat. My mom set the cookie tin down and perched beside him. Jordan's parents took the couch. Jordan remained standing. "Brooke," my father said carefully, "you're scaring us." "I'm sorry. This isn't easy, but I didn't want anyone to hear a watered-down version." "Version of what?" Jordan's dad asked.
I took a breath. "Jordan and I won't be getting married." Jordan's mom's hand flew to her mouth. My mother reached for my father's arm. "What?" my mom whispered. "Why?" I looked at Jordan. His eyes pleaded with me. "Don't, please don't." I pulled my phone from my pocket. "Because Jordan has been having an affair for the past 3 months," I said, "with a woman named Kira. I found out this morning." The word affair landed like a physical blow. "That's not," Jordan started. I opened my photo gallery, tapped the folder, and turned the screen toward my mom first. "These are screenshots of their messages, dates, times, everything. I took them from his iPad this morning. They've been meeting up while he told me he was at work events. He told her he's falling for her, that he feels alive with her, that he isn't sure about our relationship." My mom's eyes widened, her lips pressed together. "Oh, Brooke," she whispered. She passed the phone to Jordan's parents. His father took it, jaw tightening as he scrolled. His mother leaned in, reading over his shoulder. I watched their expressions change, from confusion to disbelief to horror. "You told this woman you were falling for her while you were engaged, while we were planning Christmas as a family?" "It's not like that," Jordan said, panic rising. "I was confused. I never meant to hurt anyone." "You knew enough to lie. You knew enough to hide your phone and plan secret meetings." My father looked at me. "What do you need from us?" "Just your support," I said. "I needed you to hear this from me. Now, before anyone says we mutually decided things. That's not what happened. I'm ending the engagement. I've already started canceling the wedding." Jordan's dad stood, then set my phone carefully on the coffee table. He looked at his son. "Get your things," he said quietly. "You're staying with us tonight." "Dad, come on," Jordan protested, voice cracking. 3 days before Christmas?" "This isn't about sides," his father said, anger surfacing. "You made commitments. You broke them. Now you deal with the consequences." Jordan looked at me, then at our parents. His eyes were red. "Brooke, please," he said. "We can work through this. We can go to counseling." "You had 3 months to work through this before you crossed the line. You didn't. You chose her, over and over. There's nothing left to fix." My mother stood and came to my side, her hand on my back. Jordan's mom wiped at her eyes. "I'm so sorry," she said to me. "You didn't deserve this." I nodded. "Jordan," his father repeated, "get your things." Jordan finally left the room, shoulders hunched. The sound of drawers opening down the hall echoed. The Christmas tree lights continued blinking. No one spoke. He came back 15 minutes later with the duffel bag. He wouldn't look at me. Jordan stopped in front of me, finally meeting my eyes. "I really do love you." His voice was raw. "If that's what your love looks like," I said quietly, "I don't want it." Something in his face broke. He walked out without another word. The door closed behind them. My parents stayed for a while. My mother made tea we didn't drink. My father asked practical questions about the lease and vendors. I answered all of them. When they finally left, promising to call in the morning, it was just me and the hum of the refrigerator and that Christmas tree. Around 3 in the morning, my phone buzzed. It was a text from Jordan. "I'm so sorry. I know I hurt you. Please, can we talk tomorrow? I want to fix this. We can still have Christmas together." I stared at the message until the words blurred. Then I locked my phone and didn't reply.
I woke up late in the morning of Christmas Eve, still wearing yesterday's sweater. The apartment was silent. My phone was a wall of missed calls. 21 from Jordan, 3 from his mother, 5 from unknown numbers. 1 voicemail. I tapped it. Jordan's voice came through, cracked, hoarse. "Brooke, please call me. I made a mistake. I need you to hear me. Kira means nothing. I love you. We can still save Christmas. Please." I deleted it before it finished. I spent Christmas Eve canceling everything I'd missed, confirming deposit returns, emailing vendors. The venue coordinator responded quickly. "We're so sorry, especially during the holidays. We'll initiate the refund Monday." I texted the landlord. "Hi, I need to talk about breaking the lease early." He replied within an hour. "Come by after Christmas. We'll work something out." My friend Sophie called around noon. I answered on the 4th ring. "Brooke," she breathed. "I just heard. Are you okay? On Christmas Eve?" "Define okay," I said. "I know no idea, I swear. If I had known—" "I know," I cut in gently. "It wasn't your job to catch it." We hung up after a few minutes. Jordan showed up at 3:47 p.m. on Christmas Eve. I recognized the sound of his key trying the lock. I'd already changed the deadbolt. It turned halfway before stopping. Then came the knock. "Brooke," he murmured through the door. "It's me. Please, it's Christmas Eve." I opened the door. Jordan looked awful. Eyelids red from crying, hair messy. He smelled like cold air and regret. "Thank you," he said. "I'm letting you get your things," I said. His face fell. "Please, 5 minutes. It's Christmas Eve. We should be together." "You have 5 minutes, starting now." He stepped inside. His eyes went to the Christmas tree, the presents underneath. "Brooke," he began, voice trembling, "I'm so sorry. I know I messed up. But what we have is real. Kira was just a distraction. It didn't mean anything." "It meant enough that you lied for 3 months," I said. "I was confused." "Stop calling it confusion. What you did took planning. You chose her. You chose lying. Every text, choice. Every meetup, choice. Every lie, choice." He swallowed. "I'm choosing you now." "No," I said. "You're choosing damage control." His jaw worked. "We can fix this. You don't get to choose me after I catch you. You don't get to burn the house down and ask for a fire extinguisher." His eyes filled with tears. "Please, not at Christmas." "Your 5 minutes are up," I said. "Get your things." He stood there shaking his head. Then his shoulders sagged. "Fine," he whispered. He walked past me to the bedroom. I followed at a distance. He began packing. Clothes, chargers, toiletries. At one point, he stopped and lifted our engagement photo, us smiling, the ring glittering. He stared at it for several long seconds, then set it face down on the dresser. When he had 3 bags filled, he zipped the last one and turned toward me. His face was streaked with tears. "I really do love you," he said quietly. I met his eyes. "If this is how you love, I don't want it." He closed his eyes like the words hit him. Then he nodded, picked up his bags, and walked to the door. I didn't walk him out. The door closed with a heavy thud. I changed the locks 2 hours later. The locksmith worked on Christmas Eve and charged me double. I didn't care. When he left, I leaned against the door and breathed. For the first time in days, I felt relief.
I spent Christmas Day at Haley's house. Her family treated me like I'd always been part of their chaos. Her kids asked why Uncle Jordan wasn't there. Haley told them he was sick. It was the kindest lie anyone had ever told for me. 3 days after Christmas, I started hearing whispers. Jordan was saying our breakup was mutual. We just weren't ready. Holiday stress. When friends asked me directly, I told them the truth. Calm, clean, just facts. Jordan had an affair. I ended the engagement. It spread faster than his version. People believed the story backed by evidence. Jordan kept trying to reach out. Blocked numbers, emails, even a handwritten letter left at Haley's place on New Year's Eve. Haley texted me a photo. "Want me to burn it?" I wrote back, "Trash is fine." 2 weeks into January, a stranger named Kira Morrison found me on LinkedIn. "Hi, Brooke. I wanted to apologize. Jordan told me he was single. I would never have pursued anything if I'd known. I'm truly sorry." I almost didn't reply, but I wrote back. "He told you he was single? Even if men don't wear engagement rings, you never wondered why all your meetups were secret? Why he never took photos with you? Did none of that seem strange?" Kira didn't respond. The silence was an answer. The landlord kept his promise. With a 1-month penalty, he let me out early in mid-January. "You deserve a fresh start," he'd said. "New year, new beginning." I moved into a small 1-bedroom closer to my office. Hardwood floors, big windows. The first night there, I slept on an air mattress. It was the best night of sleep I'd had in months. No ghosts, no Christmas tree mocking me, no spaces where something used to be. Just clean emptiness. I unpacked slowly, one drawer at a time. I made new routines, new routes, new grocery store, new playlist, new everything. Life rebuilds quickly when you stop clinging to rubble. Then I heard from a mutual friend in February. Jordan and Kira had tried dating for real, openly. It lasted 7 weeks. The secrecy that made it exciting evaporated. You can't build a relationship on the rush of doing something wrong. He ended it. A few days later, he tried emailing me again, paragraphs about therapy, growth, clarity. I blocked him before finishing the second sentence. One Saturday in March, I ran into Jordan's mom at a cafe near my new place. She spotted me almost instantly. "Brooke," she said softly. "Hi," I said. She asked if she could sit. I nodded. "I'm so sorry for everything," she said, voice trembling. "You didn't deserve what happened, especially not during Christmas." "Thank you," I said. "He's struggling, but it's his fault." I nodded. "I hope he figures things out." I meant it, not out of love, just truth. Her eyes filled with tears. She squeezed my hand, then she left. And I felt lighter. I'm dating again now, not seriously, just coffee here and there. I'm more careful. I watch for red flags, for phones kept too close, for explanations that don't add up. But I'm not cynical. What Jordan did says everything about him and nothing about love. Here's the truth I didn't expect to learn. When someone asks for space to figure things out, they've usually already figured it out. They're just engineering a softer landing. Evidence matters. It protected me from gaslighting. It protected my dignity, my story, my sanity. Involving our families early was brutal, but it closed the door Jordan would have tried to pry open for months. Most importantly, I learned I'd rather be alone than be someone's backup plan.
Jordan wanted to pause us while he explored his other option. I gave him all the space he wanted, permanent space. Now I'm Brooke Sullivan, 32 years old, living in my own apartment, building a quiet, steady, beautiful life that doesn't include a man who made me an option. I didn't get the wedding I planned, but I also didn't get the marriage that would have shattered me the first time life got difficult. And that feels like winning.